Namaste, welcome to Yin and Restorative Yoga with gentle movements. My name is Michelle Chua. For this practice, you'll want to have two blocks, a strap, a bolster, which is a pillow and a blanket, and I invite you to find any comfortable way to start in a sitting position. You may like to prop your pelvis up high on any number of your props so that your knees can fall open more easily if you are choosing to sit cross-legged. And take a moment to mentally arrive in your practice, visually orient yourself by looking around your space and taking in what appeals to your senses and brings a sense of calm and settling in. I want to share a short couple of quotes by mindfulness teacher Sharon Salzberg from her book, Loving Kindness, The Revolutionary Art of Happiness. Beginning again and again is the actual practice, not a problem to be overcome, so that one day we can come to the quote unquote real meditation. She also said, we can always begin again, no matter what happens, no matter how long it's been, no matter how far from our aspirations we may have strayed. We can always begin again. Just a reminder, especially if we might find ourselves being harsh on ourselves, whether we're feeling like we're straying away from our New Year's intentions or our goals, or we're missing the practice. Here we are today with this new moment, this new breath. Any moment that you choose can be one of coming back. So let's start the practice with that feeling of freshness, like a new slate, a clean canvas. As you're sitting here now, beginning to scan your mental awareness throughout your physical body. Bringing a kind and loving attention to any ways that your body is speaking to you. Notice the flow of the breath without having to control your breathing. Sensing the pace and way at which the breath moves in and out of your body. Notice how you're feeling right now energetically. Bring attention to your mind and your heart. What's present for you right now mentally and emotionally. And just like we do with thoughts when they come and go during meditation, I invite you to welcome whatever is here, whatever you're feeling, just as it is, letting it be all part of our practice. Let's start to press into what you're sitting on a little more firmly, balancing the weight through the bottom of your body as you breathe in a little slower. And slowly empty it through the mouth, lifting up from the bottom of your spine through each vertebra, rising up tall through the back of your skull. Again, breathing in a little slower. Breathing it all out. Inhaling, expand your belly, expand the four walls of your rib cage, all the way up to the collarbones. Feel the breath release as the belly softens in gently towards the spine. In this new moment, in this beginning of your practice today, what can you appreciate? What can you offer gratitude for? And through that lens of appreciation, Clarify what you are welcoming in. What are you renewing by showing up to your practice today? And remember that we are not living our lives in separate bubbles, but we are all interconnected. I invite you to choose someone or something to offer your practice to today. And together, let's join our voices to create resonance and in support of each other, chanting Om 3 times. Continuing with deep, even inhales and exhales, let's invite focus, balance of energy, and calm through the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing. So closing the lips, breathing just through the nose if you can. Softly narrow or gently constrict the back of your throat, creating a soft whispering sound that you can listen to and move your body to the pace of. Really slow, even rhythm, audible in the breath. Take your time, slowly filling up to the very top of the inhalation, emptying the breath completely, listening to the waves of breath. We'll start right here with some movement. If you are sitting cross-legged, I invite you to switch the cross of your shin that is forward or on top and firmly root down to your sitting bones at the bottom of your pelvis. Press your hands onto your lap, sit tall, relax the shoulders, and then inhale as you sway your torso to the left, rocking all the way forward. Exhale to the right, leaning all the way back. And then keep going, a couple more circles in this direction. Feel how your weight shifts around the bottom of your pelvis, from your pubic bone to your tailbone, to your left and right sitting bones. And then when you're ready, switch directions, circling in these Sufi rolls a few more times. Now bring your awareness to your rib cage. You might imagine that there's a hula hoop floating right at the level of your ribs, and that you're tracing the inner circumference of that hula hoop with each wall of the rib cage as you lean in that direction. And then relax to a neutral spine. Let's make our way down onto our backs where we'll warm up the groins a bit. So as you lie on your back, slide your left leg forward on the ground and bend your right knee into your chest, keeping your head and shoulders relaxed on the floor. And you could put a pillow under your head or some sort of prop if needed. Take hold of your right thigh or shin with 2 hands, resting the shoulders down. And then a few breaths, draw the right leg even closer to the right side of your abdomen. Give your right foot some movement at the ankle, like circling it in both directions. Can you still hear your breathing now that we've switched to a different posture? If the mind drifts off and you forget about regulating your breath, remember that the practice is about beginning again. Come back to the breath. Come back to the present. So now flex your left foot. Press the instep of the foot forward and curl the toes back. With your left hand, press down on the top of your left thigh, making sure that the back of your left hip stays on the ground. Bring your right arm inside of your right thigh and cross the forearm in front of the shin to hold your outer shin, ankle, or foot. Start to open the right knee out to the right, like your right leg by itself is coming into happy baby. As you lift the sole of your right foot towards the sky, draw the right knee downward towards the ground, outside of your right shoulder. A few more deep breaths in this lying down version of lizard lunge. And then hug your right thigh in towards the center of your chest. Lift your head and shoulders. Contract the abdomen. Maybe hover the left heel a couple inches off the floor as you flex the foot. Maybe extend the arms forward for a little activation of the core. Reaching the fingertips towards the front wall. Take one more deep breath. Stay on the exhale. Maybe lift up a little higher through the chest. And then slide both legs on the ground. Raise the arms overhead. Interlace your fingers and flip your palms inside out. And then reach long through both ends of your body. Press the heels of your palms towards the back wall as you slide your shoulder blades down your back. And keep your right leg on the floor. Bend your left knee. Take hold of your left thigh or shin with both hands where you can still rest your shoulders down on the ground. Slide your left thigh towards the left side of your abdomen, bringing it closer each breath. Give your left foot some movement at the ankle. Now flexing your right foot, press the instep of it towards your front wall while spreading the toes back towards the shin. Plant your right hand on the top of your right thigh, firming the back of your right hip into the floor. Bring your left arm to the inside of your left thigh and take hold of your outer shin, ankle, or foot. Lift the sole of your left foot towards the sky, coming into half happy baby pose or supine lizard lunge. Breath by breath, possibly drawing the left knee wide or open towards the floor. Bend your left knee towards the middle of your chest and hug it with both hands. Maybe lift the head and shoulders, engaging the abdomen. Maybe add the rigor of lifting the right heel a couple inches off the floor. Maybe even extend the arms forward, framing the left leg. Take another full cycle of breath, staying lifted if you are already as you breathe out. And this time, relax the head and shoulders and bend both knees towards your chest. Start to rock sideways, forward and back. Any direction. You could rotate your thighs together and apart, loosening up your hips, inner and outer thighs. Let's continue some warming movements. Hugging your knees together, begin to rock forward and back several times, building momentum. Eventually rocking all the way forward onto hands and knees. In tabletop pose, stack your shoulders on top of your wrists And step your knees a couple of inches behind your hips. Then as you inhale, glide your chest forward and roll your shoulders back and down, cow pose. As you exhale, lift the navel towards the spine, drop your head and round, cat pose. Keep going, maybe another 4 or so cycles of breath in Vidalasana. At the end of the next exhalation, tuck your toes, lift your hips high, press the fronts of your thighs back, entering downward facing dog. Spend a few breaths there, moving your body. Any weight may need to loosen up. Pedaling the feet in place can help warm up your hamstrings and calves. Swiveling the hips left and right as you pedal can help warm up the sides of your torso, outer hips, and lower back. Maybe shake the head in different directions to loosen up the neck. Then walk up to the front of your mat, arriving in a standing forward fold, the easiest version for you at this moment. Separate the feet at least hips distance apart. Make sure they're parallel to each other. Bend your knees as much as it allows ease so you're not tensing the back by rounding it. You might hold opposite elbows. You might just let the arms hang loose. You might clasp your hands behind your lower back to actively open the fronts of your shoulders. And check in with the quality of your breathing here now. Plant your fingertips either on your shins, 2 blocks, or the ground. Inhale, lift your spine forward into a half forward fold. Firming in the belly, glide the shoulder blades back. Exhale, drop your head and fold. Moving to the breath, inhale again. Press with your fingertips to create traction as you stretch the top of your head forward. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, relax the neck and fold in some more. Uttanasana. This time, press to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and rise all the way up. Rolling your shoulders back, coil your chest up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale as you trace your palms in prayer down in front of your chest. Padasana. Connecting to your intention for this practice. Offering gratitude to the source of energy, the sun. Let's practice a couple rounds of sun salutation C to warm up the whole body. Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead and gently coil your chest up. Exhale, bow forward from your hips. Plant your fingertips outside of your heels. Inhale, step your left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge and gaze up. Hold your breath as you step to plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, firming in the belly, then your chin, hugging the elbows to the ribs. Inhale, slide forward, entering cobra pose. Draw your shoulder heads back. Exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Rooting down, inhale, rise. Rolling your shoulders back, gaze up. Exhale, join your palms in prayer in front of your heart center. Second side, last one. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Lower your fingertips. Inhale, step the right knee back. Gaze up. Hold your breath as you step to plank. Exhale, Ashtangasana, lower knees, chest, then chin. Inhale, Cobra, Bhujangasana, broadening your chest. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb. Lower your left knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Rooting down, inhale, rise all the way up. Let's add a side bend here. Interlace the fingers, accept the index, and begin to side bend to your right for a few breaths. Now, as you breathe in, firm your left foot especially into the ground and lift your spine from the hips. As you breathe out, draw your shoulder blades down the back, seal in your bottom front ribs, and continue to side bend to the right. Inhale, rise up through center. Exhale, lean to your left. As you breathe in, from the right foot especially into the ground, and lift your spine from your pelvis. And as you breathe out, continue to side bend to the left, seal in the bottom of your front ribs, and relax your shoulders down your back. Inhale, rise up. And let's release the arms back and down. Shimmy out the shoulders, gently moving the head. Make your way down to sit, please. So I'm going to invite you to come over to hands and knees, and we'll prepare for single pigeon pose, a hip opening posture. If you have knee issues or you just prefer lying down on your back, for the supine version of it, starting in thread the needle, you can take that version instead. So those of you in all fours, turn out your right thigh at the hip and cross your right shin in front of your pelvis, sliding your left leg straight behind you, lower to sit. Tuck your left toes on the ground and plant your hands alongside your hips for a moment so that you can lift your pelvis off the floor. And tack your right outer hip back, rotate your left outer hip forward. So try to aim both your frontal hip bones to equally face the front edge of your mat. So your right knee is not pointing straight forward, it's pointing out to the right. But you're using that adjustment from the right hip socket, not at the knee joint. Now, if there's a gap between your right glute and the ground, fill that gap with your folded blanket or any comfortable prop so that you can support squared hips. And then relax your left toes. Place your hands in front of your right shin. For those of you that can parallel your right shin with the front edge of your mat, make sure that you're flexing your right foot the entire time in this pose to help stabilize your right knee. As you breathe in, lift your sternum, roll the shoulders back, open up the front of the torso, and then breath by breath, and start to fold at your pace. You can lower lots of props in front of you, stack a bunch of pillows and blankets, or make an incline, placing a block underneath the furthest end of the pillow like this so that you can bear hug the pillow. You could make a folded blanket forehead rest so that you can lie face down like this. Some of you might come all the way down and that might feel comfortable. If you are doing the latter, you can also add a spinal twist, the other thread needle. So if you are adding the spinal twist, bend your right elbow towards the sky, plant your right fingertips on the ground towards the upper right corner of your mat. Thread your left arm under your right bent elbow with your left palm face up and lower the left side of your head all the way down. If your head does not comfortably rest on the ground, again, use any of your props to rest your head on. Now make any last little adjustment in this posture so that you can comfortably enough be still. Sometimes it's not so comfortable in the beginning breaths of a posture, right? As the body is slowly opening up. But find your balance where you can sometimes be in discomfort, of course, not pain. That's not what we're looking for. And still breathe consciously, fully in balance. We're going to be here for another 2.5 minutes before we switch sides. So, as much as you can, try to relax into stillness. Sensing the very top of the in-breath, the very bottom of the out-breath. One more full breath here. Be gentle with yourself as you take your time coming back to all fours. If you were practicing the traditional version of single pigeon, if you were on your back, stay on your back and just take a moment, maybe in happy baby pose or circling the legs together and apart before moving on to your second side. If you are in all fours, you might lift the right leg and just give it some movement at the hip. Maybe shake it out, encouraging blood flow in that region. And then when you're ready, from hands and knees, turn out your left thigh at the hip and slide your left shin across your mat in front of your pelvis. Straighten the right leg behind you and tuck your right toes. Place your hands alongside your hips and lift your pelvis off the ground, tacking your left outer hip back. Rotate your right outer hip forward. And notice if it's wise to place a prop under your left glute. Fill up any gaps. Relax your right toes. And if your left shin is parallel to the front edge of your mat, make sure you're flexing your left foot the entire pose. And then plant the hands in front of your left shin. Breathe in and lift the chest. Stretch the front of your torso. Take your time as you start to lower onto your props or onto the floor entirely. If you're coming into the spinal twist, thread the needle. If you did it on the first side, flare your left bent elbow up towards the sky and plant the fingertips towards the upper left corner of your mat. And then thread the right arm underneath your left bent elbow with the right palm face up and lower the right side of your head all the way down. If your head does not comfortably rest on the ground, use any of your props as a pillow. knowing that while you're entering the same pose on the second side, we sometimes have imbalances on the left and right sides of different parts of our body, and really listen to what this side of your hips needs. What variation, what number of props, and then make any last little adjustments so that you can comfortably enough settle into stillness for the next 2.5 minutes. Full breath in, long breath out. If your attention drifts away from the present moment, begin again. Come back to the breath. And last breath here. Slowly, gently begin to lift your body back onto hands and knees, or if you're on your back, stay there a while and take a neutralizing posture or movement, happy baby, or straddle the legs wide. If on hands and knees, you might give your left leg some movement at the hip, maybe shake it out. Let's turn to face the wide width of the mat. Bring your props within arm's reach and straddle the legs wide apart. If you find that as you're sitting with the legs wide open in front of you, your pelvis starts to tilt where you're rounding your back, elevate your pelvis like we do at the beginning of the practice. You can sit on your pillow, your folded blanket, so that you're lifting the frontal hip bone slightly and rooting down to your sitting bones, lengthening the lower back, slightly firming in the belly. And then notice if you want to have some props set up already for yourself so that you can land on them and bear hug them too. You can create an incline out of your pillow, placing a block or two underneath the furthest end of the pillow like this. You could fold a blanket, place it on top of the pillow to rest your forehead on if you want to lie face down. Prepare to be in this posture, which is a variation of Upavishta Konasana, for the next 3 minutes. So before you start to fold forward, invite you to take your hands and cup the tops of your thighs right at the creases of your hips. Flex your feet and rotate your inner thighs back. Encourage your kneecaps to point straight up instead of rotating them forward the entire pose. So it might help to keep the knees slightly flexed while you're in the posture, just to prevent that buckling in of the knees. And then root your sitting bones down, place the hands in front of you and lift up through the front of your torso again. Roll the shoulders back and down, keep your throat open, and then start to hinge slowly from the hips. Remember that you can adjust the amount of props and the configuration of them so that you can relax into the pose instead of holding yourself up with your hands or keeping the neck at work. Try to cultivate the feeling of surrender in your whole body here. Maybe close the eyes. And once again, make any last little adjustments so that you can comfortably enough settle into stillness for 3 minutes. So as we're bringing physical focus to the pelvis, notice if there's any reaction in the jaw. Can you consciously relax the jaw, behind the ears, the tongue, all around, including the neck and shoulders? Deep breaths. One more deep breath. And take your time again. Let your head be heavy for a while. Place your hands on the ground and start to lift the torso slowly. And just pause as you rise upright in the spine. Just notice your energy right now. Feel the flow of energy through your body. And then bring your hands to your outer thighs. Lift your slightly bent knees and slide your feet together towards the front of your mat. Grab a strap and let's make our way down to our backs. Let's come back to that first posture, Ardha Uttanasana, bending the right knee into your chest. But this time, step the ball of your right foot into the strap. Whether it's a loop or the middle of the strap, hold the strap in your left hand and kick into the strap to raise the right leg straight up. We're going to prepare for a supine spinal twist with some variations you could choose from. So start by sliding the right hip or your hips towards the right edge of your mat. And open the right arm out to the right on the ground. Press the right shoulder down, make sure it stays on the floor the entire posture. You might gaze past the right shoulder to stretch your neck. And then holding the strap in your left hand, sickle your right foot. From the ankle, turn the sole of the right foot to face your left wall. And take your time here. Start to twist to or cross the right leg over your body to the left, just 1/3 of your range. Pause there and tack the crease of your right outer hip forward so it tilts slightly towards the front edge of your mat, creating traction for your lower back. And then continue twisting slowly with the breath. Finding whatever is your range of motion right now where you can keep the right shoulder down. If you need some support, you can put a pillow underneath your inner right leg or several props stacked. Now you can stay here or add a stretch for your left quadricep while you're here, bending your left knee. With your right hand, catch the top of your left foot and bring it towards your glute. Then reground your right shoulder and continue drawing the right outer hip forward towards the front edge of the mat. And let's stay in your version of this twist for another 10 slow breaths. Now begin to unravel onto your back again. Release the left leg if you're holding the foot. And take hold of the strap with 2 hands, or you can take hold of the back of your right leg, like your calf or your heel. Flex both of your feet here and try to keep your legs parallel to each other so you're not turning them out. Then slowly bring the right leg towards you. Keeping your right leg straight, flex the front muscle of your right thigh, which is your quadricep, to support your hamstring, the back muscle of your right thigh. And if you're feeling really tight in the hamstrings here, go ahead and bend your left knee. Make it a little bit easier for you. As much as you need, bend the left knee. But try to keep the right leg straight without locking the knee. One more deep breath. And slide your right leg to the ground. Bend your left knee into your chest and step the ball of your left foot into the strap. Extend the left leg towards the sky and hold the strap in your right hand. Slide your hips closer to the left edge of your mat and open your left arm wide on the floor. Ground your left shoulder, maybe gazing past it to stretch your neck. And sickle your left foot from the ankle, turn the sole of your left foot to face your right wall. Then slowly begin to cross the left leg over your body to your right, just 1/3 of your range in the spinal twist, and pause there and breathe. While pausing, tack your outer left hip forward towards the front edge of your mat. And then continue exploring your range of motion, breath by breath. You could also catch the inside of your left leg with your props if you need some more support here, making sure that left shoulder stays on the ground. Now, if you want to add the quadricep stretch for your right thigh, bend your right knee, and with your left hand, take hold of your right foot, bringing your right foot towards your glutes, reground your left shoulder, and continue tilting your left outer hip forward towards the front edge of your mat. Let's tune in here for another 10 deep breaths. Start to unravel onto your back. Flex the left foot, flex the right foot too, and either hold the strap with 2 hands or take hold of the back of your left leg. Try to keep your legs parallel to each other so you're not turning out the legs as you bring the left leg closer and closer. Flexing your left quadricep without locking your left knee. And if needed, bend your right knee so you're not causing any strain. One more deep breath. Once again, let's bend the knees together. This time, splay the thighs apart right into full happy baby pose. Ground the back of your tailbone, shoulders, and head to safely lengthen your spine. Now, we didn't focus very much on the shoulders today, so I'm going to invite you to rest in corpse pose in a restorative posture to open up the fronts of your shoulders. So let's come on up to sit. And if you would like to do that, take your 2 blocks. We'll set up in supported fish pose. Place one of your blocks at the back of your mat, either on the tallest height. This is a good place to start. If you're feeling mildly open in the fronts of the shoulders, or place that block on the medium height if you're feeling pretty open, pretty warm. Take the second block, place it on the medium height, and either trace the midline of your mat where the blocks are only about 1 inch or 2 apart, or cross the width of the mat where the blocks are further apart, like 5 to 6 inches. When you lie back, you'll see what feels more comfortable for you, and you can adjust either way. And then keep your pelvis on the ground and either stretch the legs out as you would in Shavasana, and you can also add support for your lower back, placing a pillow or rolled up blanket under the backs of your knees in this way, or just keep the legs flat on the floor. You could also use a blanket, keeping it folded so it's weighted, place it on top of your pelvis and lower belly, which can feel grounding. And then start to lean back onto the blocks. Find the area that's right underneath the bottom tips of your shoulder blades to land on the closest edge of the closest block, so that the first block you make contact with encourages your chest to broaden, your shoulders to relax back and down while you lengthen the back of your neck into its natural curve. Let the back of your skull, not the back of your neck, land on the furthest block. And then from here, you can adjust the blocks, making sure that your body feels symmetrical, especially on the left and right shoulders. You can also rotate from the shoulders and turn your palms to face up, slightly away from your thighs, resting the hands on the ground. This helps to open up the chest a bit more. Make any last little adjustment and we'll enter some resonant, mindful breathing before we let go of controlling the breath in corpse pose. Closing the eyes. You might invite the inhales to gently expand your belly and the exhales to relax the belly even deeper. I'll invite you to breathe in for a count of 6 through the nose and breathe out for a count of 6 through the nose a few times. Then we'll let go of controlling the breath. We'll use this mindful breathing technique to help more deeply relax your nervous system. So first, just make sure the bones of your body are completely submitting to gravity. Check in with the muscles in your face, relaxing the eyes and the muscles around them. Let your pelvis be heavy as you soften the belly and the glutes and the inner and outer thighs, relaxing all the way down your legs to the soles of your feet, relaxing your arms and your palms as well. Let's prepare for the breath work by inhaling fully through the nose. Open the mouth, let it out. Close the lips now and inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going a couple more cycles, counting on your own. And then when you're ready, consciously let go of controlling the breath. Entering still presence in Shavasana. As you rest here a little longer, notice how your body feels. Starting with small movements like wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Begin to wake your body up gently. Maybe keeping your eyes closed. Gradually turn over onto your right side, off of the blocks, resting your head. Let's pause there for a moment. Feel the natural waves of your breath. Notice how you're feeling now energetically. And slowly lift your body up. Find a comfortable way to sit for our 5 minutes in meditation. I'll repeat the first quote by Sharon Salzberg. Beginning again and again is the actual practice, not a problem to be overcome so that one day we can come to the quote unquote real meditation. As your mind may drift, as it naturally may, and let yourself gently come back over and over again to the present, to noticing what's here now. So you might close the eyes, you might stack the palms, face up on the center of your lap, thumb tips touching. Invite a feeling of alertness with a tall spine, open chest, as well as a feeling of groundedness and relaxation. Let's begin. Notice, how does your mind feel right now? How do you feel emotionally? And tuning into the effects of your showing up to your practice today. You might join your hands in prayer at the heart as you acknowledge anything you would like to offer gratitude for. Remember to also appreciate yourself for your dedication to your greatest well-being. And remind yourself what your intention is today in this practice. And remember to whom or what you offered up today's practice. Remembering the Sanskrit chant, Loka Samasta Sukhinu Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. And may my thoughts, actions, and words contribute to that happiness and freedom. Let's close with 3 ohms. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.